member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My name is Jerry Shockey. I oversee the educational programs here at our museum in Canton, Ohio. We want to welcome you guys for participating in the Heart of the Hall of Famer series, which had just started back in May. We've connected now about 12, 15 Hall of Famers to communities and schools all across the country. And the real idea and premise behind this Heart of the Hall of Famer concept is to let you students know what it took to get in the Hall of Fame beyond just the athletic ability. We know that these athletes are tremendous examples of athleticism and talent, but it took more than that to get into the Hall of Fame. It took these 6 core pillars that you guys are studying: the trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. They're at the basis of what made them successful. Because I guarantee you, for the most case, most of our Hall of Famers, it can be said, if their God-given ability didn't lie in professional football, that they would have excelled at some other initiative. And many of them have gone on to excel in many other initiatives after their football career. And we have an example of someone who's done that and spending 40 plus years or 40 years with the Oakland Raiders beyond just his playing career there. So that's the idea and the concept of the program, is to tackle, and again, I said the word tackle, it's kind of a play on the word there, but to tackle these character qualities that you guys have been studying. So with that being said, before we go into asking Mr. Brown to share his opening remarks, there are a bunch of folks we need to thank, because without them, this program would not have been possible. First of all, Kings County Office of Education, Parker and Trista and their superintendent there, and assistant superintendents, and all the folks at Kings County Office of Education, thank you. They made the trip from Kings County, about, I don't know, 2-3 hour trip, whatever it is, to the Oakland Raiders facilities in Alameda, and set up their video conferencing stuff at the Oakland Raiders facility. So thank you for doing that. Not only do they support video conferencing for their schools in Kings County and for the state of California, but they're also a content provider just like we are. So teachers out there, make sure you do a search for Kings County Office of Education video conferencing and check out the programs that they offer, because they offer some great content. And they really have some cutting edge studios there with their TriCaster and their HD equipment and all that. So make sure you check out the Kings County Office of Education website. We also need to thank our friends at the Oakland Raiders for allowing us to utilize their facilities to do this broadcast. I know Matthew Pascu, their IT person, and Scott Fink, their senior relations director. Without them, coordinating this would not have been possible. So thank you to the Oakland Raiders for that. And as always, we always thank our friends at eTech Ohio. Most of the teachers here, probably at some point through this connection, have probably talked to our bridge, our state bridge here. Aaron and Derek and Michelle and Josh, thank you for all that you guys do in making these connections possible for all these schools, not only across the state of Ohio, but across the country. But most importantly, we need to thank the schools and the teachers. There are teachers, librarians, school tech directors, district tech directors, a whole host of folks that are involved in getting this set up. So we want to say thank you for taking the time to do this and to prep your students for this actual broadcast. I know a lot of you have seen some of the questions. You've got some great questions that you would like to ask Mr. Brown. And then most importantly, we want to thank the students. And thank you for prepping yourselves and taking the opportunity to learn about these 6 pillars and research a little bit about Mr. Brown's background and his career, so you can ask some very interesting and relevant questions of him. But with that being said, I would like to recognize the schools that are participating here, not only for Mr. Brown to see where all the schools are connected at, but also for you guys to go to see, because we got students connected from all over the country here for this broadcast today. And when I do that, when I do announce your school, you can feel free to unmute your mic at that time, and feel free to give a little shout out, a little yell, show a little school spirit, whatever you want to do. But when I do that, feel free to do so. So let's start off with right there in California, JFK Junior High.
I mean,
okay. Thank you, JFK. Thank you for that. Good start there. Go ahead and mute your mics there. If we can go to Creek Family School in Camden, New Jersey.
Yay!
Yeah! Okay, thank you, Cream Family School. Go ahead, mute your microphones there in Camden, and let's go to Texas now. Riesel, the 2 gentlemen with the mics, go ahead, unmute it.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah!
Okay, thank you, Riesel, for that. And then let's go to Virginia and Spotsylvania, Freedom Middle School. I think the folks in Virginia might have this one here. And then let's go to Wellsville, Ohio, Daw Middle School.
You're on.
Yeah!
Very good, Daw. Thank you very much. Go ahead and mute your mic. Thank you. And then let's go to elementary number 9 in Linden, New Jersey.
Go Tigers!
I think we have a very emphatic teacher in there. I think did most of the cheering there. So thank you. Thank you, Lyndon. So go ahead and mute your mics there. I want to thank all the schools for participating. Again, this wouldn't be possible without you guys. But I'd like to turn things over here to our featured speaker. But before I do that, I would like to give you guys a little introduction into exactly who this person is and show you a little bit of a video clip on their playing career. But Willie Brown was from the class of 1984. He was born December 2nd, 1940 in Yazoo City, Mississippi. Now, this is important, early sign in his character. He was undrafted, first of all, and then cut by the Oilers. Then joined the Broncos in 1963, and in his second season earned All AFL. And the AFL was a league that actually rivaled against the National Football League before they merged and became what we know today as the AFC and NFC. He was traded to the Raiders in 1967. He was known for being fast, mobile, and aggressive. He was All AFL, AFC 7 times. All-time AFL team in 1969 means he was voted one of the very best that played in that league for those 10 years that the AFL before they merged with the National Football League. He played in 5 AFL All-Star games, 4 AFC NFC Pro Bowls, 9 AFL AFC title games, and 2 Super Bowls. His career totals include 54 interceptions, 472 yards for 2 touchdowns, and the most significant probably of his career was the one that he scored on a 75-yard interception return during Super Bowl 11. That's a little bit about his on-the-field achievements, but he's also got quite an accomplishment off the field as well, or accomplishments as well. Willie Brown is in his 40th year with the Oakland Raiders, if you can imagine that. Not only just playing, but spending 40 years with an organization as successful as the Oakland Raiders is a testament to who Willie is and his hard work. He's been with the Raiders, as I said, for 40 years. 16th season as Director of Squad Development. He was a secondary coach for the Raiders from 1979 to 1988, during which the team won 2 World Championships of professional football in Super Bowls 15 and 18. He also coached the secondary in 1997 while serving as Director of Squad Development. Brown was an assistant in Long Beach State before taking over as head coach in 1991, which, as you'll find, I think coaching was his initial dream, as he showed with the early groups that didn't even really have a thought of playing in the National Football League. In 1994, he was named head coach at Los Angeles Jordan High School. Brown earned his master's degree in education at Long Beach State. So even after all his successes on and off the field, he's still, as he'll share probably with you, pursuing education is at the forefront of not only for himself, but recommendations that he would give students nowadays. So with that being said, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a clip. You see that young man there? Let's go ahead and play this video.
He intercepted an NFL record 4 passes in a single game during his second season. But none were more historic than the one he picked off in Super Bowl 11.
And he looks and throws. Intercepted by the Oakland Raiders. Willie Brown at the 40, 50.
Okay, if you can all unmute your mics and join me and give them a warm round of applause in welcoming class of 1984 Pro Football Hall of Fame member Willie Brown. And if you can all mute your mics until we call upon you, and Mr. Brown, if you have any opening remarks you'd like to share with the students, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Let me just say that when we have a good group, this second group is really something. We have a good crowd, and it's good to see you. Let me also say thank you for participating in all the schools throughout the country, being able to hear some truth, hear some understanding, and hopefully that it will help you in your career, whatever you may do. It's important to know that you see the highlights there. I had really 5 interceptions in that particular game against the Jets, but they called one back because of safety. He got the idea that he wanted to hit the quarterback late, so they took one away from him. But all the things that happened in the Super Bowl and all those games, big games that I played in, is not only my ability to be able to play it, but my teammates had an important role in terms of me having the success that I had as a professional football player. And then I will never forget them, because had it not been for them, no way I could have made All-Pro or been in the Hall of Fame without them.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Brown. And today what we're going to do is we're going to rotate in order. You guys all have your prepared questions for Mr. Brown. We're going to rotate in the order, and keep this in mind because we'll get to JFK first. JFK is going to start the program off in just a moment. We have Cream Family High School, who will be next. Riesel High School will follow them in Texas. Freedom Middle School will be next in Virginia, and then Dawn Middle School, and then elementary number 9 is tuning in as a view-only school. You will notice as the video transitions, a little bit choppy, the video, but the audio should be instantaneous with you guys, so the audio should be coming in crystal clear for each of you. But one thing I want you guys to encourage you guys to do is to ask those questions, those thought-provoking questions. One thing that can be said about Mr. Brown, he's very upfront, very honest, and that's kind of his MO. And you know, you have the opportunity to ask him what made him one of the greatest football players ever. What made him so successful off the field, playing or working for an ultra successful organization like the Oakland Raiders for spending 40 years of his life with the Oakland Raiders. So you guys have the opportunity to think about this, to put it in terms for you guys today. You think about some of the great players in the National Football League. As we shared with the earlier group, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, the Charles Woodsons, the James Harrisons, Hines Wards, whoever it is that you think is some of the great players out there, they all aspire to be in Mr. Brown's shoes someday and be a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the greatest players that have ever played. There have been over 20,000 players that have played in the National Football League, only 267 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so you get an idea of how big of an honor it is to be there. And I suspect that most likely these individuals, these Tom Brady's and all these people, would probably aspire to be as successful as he is off the field as well, because he's been so successful throughout his career. So you guys have the opportunity to ask those questions about what obstacles he encountered, what recommendations he has. Because one thing we want to convey to you guys is that Mr. Brown was a student just like you guys. He sat in the same shoes, faced maybe not the exact same barriers that you guys faced. Maybe he had more or less in his life, but very similar. He was a student just like you guys were. And he's got a lot of things to say of how he achieved greatness on and off the field. So with that being said, we're going to go to, stay in the home state of California with Mr. Brown there. JFK, junior high, go ahead with your first couple of questions.
How did your football career help shape your character?
That's a good question. I think that you learn habits by learning from your mother, your father, and surely your high school coach how to be respectful, how to understand others, and believe in yourself, give you that confidence, and then you learn those kind of things when you're in an early age. Let me just also say that growing up, I hated school. I want to rather go do something else rather than go to school. So my interest wasn't their own school. My interest was to play sports. But I knew that if I wanted to play sports, I had to go to school. So that's what really kept me going and motivated me to be a good student and also a good football player by going to school every day and learning things. And I think the things that they taught me is trust, understanding, and forgiving, and be a person who make decisions. Don't let anyone make decisions for you. You make your own decision, because there are choices, and you choose the one that is best suited for you or your organization or your team. And that's the way I learned and learn things on the field, and it helped me off the football field is to be the person who you think you are, and listen to others, and be willing to accept their idea if you think their idea is right. And if their idea is not right in your eyesight, you have a choice to make. Okay? Okay.
Thank you, JFK. Go ahead with another one.
How important is it to be known as a good teammate, and what does that look like?
You know, this is not important to me as an individual to be recognized as a good player. That's not me. I would prefer one of my teammates get the credit for something rather than me. Don't put it on me. You see, I'd rather be the person who say, if you have a glass of water, I want to make sure all my teammates had a drink before I had a drink. You see, you having food, I'd rather for my teammates to have food rather than me. Let me be the sacrifice guy. Let me be the last guy. If me to satisfy their hunger, satisfying their thirst. You see, and that's the same way my father taught me when I was growing up. My father would make sure that, and I have seven brothers and 2 sisters. So my father would make sure all the kids have been fed before he even think about eating, because he wanted to make sure that they taken care of. And that's where I kind of grew up being that way. I would be the last person to criticize a person when I think that his idea is okay. You see, so I think that's what really helped me and helped my character and on and off the football field in terms of satisfying others rather than satisfying myself first. I put my teammates first before I put myself first. Although they put me first, before them. So, but I look at it, I want to make sure everybody else is happy before I being happy myself.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
You're
a
more than
great
welcome.
example of that selflessness when you talk about the 6 pillars and fairness and citizenship. If we all kind of live that way in our communities, in our schools, in our workplace, that kind of attitude where I'd rather help somebody else than help myself first. Trust me, this world would be a lot better place because of that. So those are great lessons, great words to live by in our everyday lives. Let's go ahead to New Jersey. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to clarify. We got 2 schools in New Jersey. Cream Family High School. Camden.
Did you always have the goal to play football in the NFL?
Okay, hey, you guys look mighty nice in your orange shirts there. That's pretty good. No, my goal was coming out of high school was to finish high school, go to Grambling University to get my degree. And from there, I could have cared less about playing professional football. I wanted to be a high school football coach. That was my #1 goal because I had so much respect for my high school coach. I want to be like him. I even walk like it, try to talk like it, do all the things that he did. So, but no, that was in my far back mind in terms of playing professional football. But the opportunity came, so I just took advantage of it because they believed that I had some talent. They believed that I could play professional football. So I took advantage of it because knowing that would jumpstart my career in trying to get some of the things that I wanted in life, being able to buy a car, being able to buy nice clothes, being able to help my family. Those things was very important to me. But to say football, no, I could have cared less about playing professional football because I had other goals in mind rather than playing professional football. But the opportunity came, and I took advantage of it because there's no way that I knew that get some of the things that I wanted. Being a high school teacher, being a high school football player, it's tough making a living that way, and you don't make quite as much money by coaching in high school that you would be if you playing professional football. Okay, we good? We good. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another one, Cream.
Justin?
Was it hard to play in 204 games?
I didn't look at it as being hard. I look at it as being a lot of fun because I was doing something that I chose to do. When you're having fun and doing certain things, it's not hard. The hardest part of you, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't have direction and understand what's going on. Yeah, that is hard. But fortunate enough for me, I had some pretty good athletic skills, I guess, and I could do certain things that certain guys can't do, and they say I was very good, and which I was. I was good. Laugh at that, kids. You guys got to laugh. No, but yeah, it really wasn't that hard to me because I was my defensive back skill was so much higher than the average defensive back that played in the league, and everything just came easy to me because I invented the bump and run. I knew how to play it. I had pretty good size, and my strength. I was like 6'2", and weighing about 215, 212 pounds, and I would just beat the receiver up, knock him down, and you just got him out of the way, so there's no way he can catch a pass. So, those kind of things happened to me.
Thank you.
We good? You're more than welcome, guys. I like those shirts.
Me too.
Thank you, Camden. Let's go from New Jersey to Texas. Riesel High School. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, how's it going? While you were growing up, who and or what shaped your future?
Say that again.
Who or what?
Oh, okay. Who or what shaped my future in pro ball? I think that my work habits, which began when I first started playing football, was my high school coach. Then my father, of course. Then, of course, Eddie Robinson at Grambling University. Then coming to the Raiders with Al Davis. I think all those particular individuals really helped me and prepared me to play professional football. I think had it not been, then there again, your teammates. You only become a star when you have good surrounding ball players around you. And the good ball players usually stand out because he got a good cast of other guys around him. And I think that's what made me such a great football player. They say I don't have to say how good I was, and you guys know how good I was. But I think by having a good cast of other good ball players around you, they make you play better because of the trust, the understanding, and the knowledge that you have had by practicing. You could do certain things, and now you have a chance to stand out because you have gone through the practice. You have gone through the communication between you and your teammates on how to do certain things in order for you to win. Okay? Go ahead.
What is your favorite memory of your football career?
Well, there are quite a few. One being the Super Bowl, of course, we saw earlier where I ran it back for a touchdown. I think that's one of the biggest games that played in all the sports is the Super Bowl. But intercepting 4 passes in one game, it's kind of good. But not only that, when sometimes you guys got to understand when I played that, they wouldn't even throw a ball my way in the course of a whole game sometimes. So what I used to do, and little like I play the game, when they don't throw my way, just kind of reach down in the dirt, get some dirt, and just kind of rub it all on my jersey. So little like I played today, because usually they can just take my uniform and hang it back up and have it ready for the next game because it's not dirty because nobody went my way. They didn't throw a pass my way. They didn't run my way. They stayed out of the way of me. So those kind of things you kind of remember when they don't throw a ball in your direction, you intercept a big pass to save a game, intercept a pass, to break the tie. Knowing that your chance that you make a big play, you have a chance to win a ball game. And I had several of those kind of games to help me in my career. Those kind of things you remember quite a bit.
Thank you, Riesel. Let's go to Virginia. Freedom Middle School. Think you'd like to get a little feedback from you, Freedom?
Okay, no, we're ready. I don't know why it's doing that. Is the microphone by the speaker?
Yeah, is microphone by the speaker?
No.
Well, how about hurry up and ask your question, and then we'll mute your mic.
Okay. What is some advice you have for a successful career?
Say it a little
Say
louder.
it again.
What is some advice you have for a successful career?
Advice for a successful career.
Advice for a successful career.
Yes.
Whether you in sports, no matter what type of industry or what type of job you have, success is measured by in terms of your reaction, in terms of goals, in terms of being on time. All those things play in a important role in terms of being successful. Now, what do you say is success? You see, and the question is success meaning that you win a Super Bowl, or you win a championship, are you making All-Pro, are you making the Hall of Fame, are you the top person in your classroom, are you the top money maker in terms of your company? All those things is depends on how you measure success. I don't think of all the things that I have done can be classified as being successful, although in the eyes of the public and in the eyes of fans, they think that I am successful because being in the Hall of Fame, I have done all those kind of things. But to me, there are so many other things in life other than just being what they so-called being successful. So it depends on your organization, depends on what your goals are and how you got there. And if you reach those goals and you go out and make a whole lot of money, people look at that as being successful. But to me, growing up as a child who didn't have much, who had to wear hand-me-downs from my older brothers, I thought I was successful then because I had a chance to get their clothes and wear their shoes, and those kind of things being successful. But it's how you measure successful in terms of your goals. You set goals when you finish high school. I think that's being successful because you start in first grade and go all the way through until you.
We lost you guys
High school
there.
being successful. So
There we go.
all those kind of things help. Okay. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay. All right. Thank
Looking
you.
at you,
We
Jerry.
lost you right at the tail end of that, the last thing that you said, but I'm sure it's just
Shame on
reiterating that.
Shame,
success,
shame,
so.
shame, shame, Jerry.
we can plus rewind. So let's go ahead and another one there, freedom.
Okay.
What was the hardest thing you had to overcome in your life?
Well, my hardest thing I had to overcome in my lifetime was being prejudiced. Growing up in a small town in Mississippi, and how you was treated, how all the black people was treated. I had to overcome that. Then, playing in high school, in college, playing with all black team, and I never played with white players before until I came to the pros. So it was different, being a black person. Now I'm playing with white guys, and so at that point, we didn't look at color, what color you were. We looked in terms of championship and playoff and Super Bowls. All those kind of things come into making because of being treated as one person back in the early 50s, and compared to now. For example, when you go try to get a drink of water at a public place, they had a sign up saying for colored, one fountain; for black, one color; and for white, another water fountain. So, and you go to a restaurant, they tell you have to go to the back of the restaurant in order to get food. You cannot go through the front door or go to a hotel. You have to go to the back of the hotel and come around the back door. You take the service elevator to your room. I had to overcome those kind of things because of I grew up under those kind of conditions. And coming and being in the pros and changing my lifestyle is knowing that today kids doesn't even think about the things that we went through as a football player compared to what they go go through now, and it's a big difference because the number, the way society is, which is great now, and the changes that we had to overcome, and all those things was very important during that time. So overcoming those kind of things there as a person had nothing to do with football, but with life itself. You had to change your habits and understand your habits and have respect for others. Okay, we good? Yeah, we good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Freedom. Let's go to Wellsville, Ohio. Don Middle School.
How did conditioning play into your character?
Well, being steadfast, you stick with your guns. You knew what all the training, the hard work and the dedication that were taught to you when you was in elementary school and in high school. You just work harder than the other person. I think that which is very important to know that you learn habits and your character started earlier. It started when you was when you 1 or 2 years old. You start developing the type of character you want to be. So that would be determined by your mother and your father, how they raise you, how they believe in themselves, and try to get you to believe with their ideas, same as your idea. That's helped you. When you see something is wrong, you know it's wrong. So why are you going along with the person believing that he's right when you know things is wrong? So you start developing certain things about respect and understanding, decision and choices, and all those come into play when you want to be a better human being. You have to understand that there are laws, there are rules that you have to follow. Even at your age now, your mom and dad tell you be home at 10 o'clock, you be home at 10 o'clock. So you develop that habit of when a person with authority tell you certain things to do and how to be a certain kind of way, you respect that and you grow with those kind of things. That's how you become a better person. That's how you develop your character, by people who have trained you along the way, and forcing them. And now that you have choices, you can develop your character by making choices. How you want to be, how people want to see you, and how you believe in your character. When you know something is right, it is right. But you know something is wrong, and you know it's wrong, but respect that particular person's ideas and his value and his understanding. So you try to help that particular person to develop his character the way your character should be. Great answer, huh? Yep.
Thank you. That was great.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank you, Don. Was that number 2? That's number 1, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Was there ever a time when you could have used steroids, and how did you react to somebody asking you to use steroids?
Okay, growing up where I grew up in Mississippi and Louisiana, I had no knowledge of steroids. I had no knowledge of marijuana. I had no knowledge of anything until after when I came to the pros, because I had never seen it, I never used it, and I don't believe in taking enhancement drugs. You take steroids and those kind of things, because I have seen nowadays when people have taken drugs and people have taken steroids, that what happened to their body. They may look good, pumped all up, and big muscles and strong arms, but there's life. Hopefully, there's life after football. When they see how their body has deteriorated into something that is not supposed to be, and steroids, there's no place for it. I think every person on the football field or in any sports should be on the same playing level, and I think by taking drugs and those kind of things, it's not good for any sports. It's not good for the community. It's not good for society. For people to use some form of drugs, because there's no place for it. Because of I want to be drug free, and hopefully that the people that I'm playing against also is drug free, because of there again, you developing your character, how you want to be, and how you want your kids to be. You got to think it in terms of the long run. What happened if a football player is using steroids and using drugs now? One day he's going to get married and he's going to have kids, and what are you going to teach him? He's going to teach him how to use drugs, how to use steroids? No. Hopefully not, but those things you have to think about when you are involved in taking that one chance of using any form of drugs, particularly at your age. Nowadays, again, I'm gonna go back to the answer I said earlier, that you have choices. When you see that a person is wrong, he's wrong. When you see a person is using drugs, you are taking smoking marijuana, you don't have to smoke it because he's your buddy or he's your friend. You try to encourage him not to use it. See, that's very important. You can help him develop his habit and his character by saying, no, you can't do that. You shouldn't do it because this, and this would happen to you in life. So encourage more your classmates, more your schoolmates, and more your teammates is to stay drug-free. Stay away from alcohol and those kind of things. And now's the time for you guys to learn that. And don't be afraid because he's your buddy that you stand up to him and tell him this is wrong. You shouldn't do it.
Thank you.
Good?
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's head from Ohio back to California. JFK, do you have a couple questions? We'll go second round.
Was it hard at Was it hard at times to play fair in the heat of the moment?
Well, you know, there are rules that you must follow in sports, in life itself also. There are certain rules. But was it hard to play fair? That's why they have rules. You must play fair in order to be competitive, in order to try to win a ball game. You hopefully that the people who are making the call or people who are making the decision, they would do things the right way, in a fair way. But yes, it's hard particularly when you're losing. If you're losing the ball game, it's hard to play fair. You want to do something out of the ordinary to help your chance of winning. But it's tough because you have to bite your tongue and your lip and say, okay, you got to have a stiff lip now in order to get through it and play it fair. And that's the way life is. You know, you have to do what is right. And the people who are making that decision for you can sometimes cause you to win or cause you to lose. You just hope that everybody's fair, the official is fair, and hopefully the other team is going to play fair, so you come out as a winner. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have another one, JFK?
Yeah.
What community responsibility were important to you while you were playing football?
Say it again. Say it again.
What community responsibility were important to you while you're playing football?
Community responsibility?
Community responsibility, you saying? Community responsibility?
Yes.
Okay, that's the question that I have.
Responsibilities were important.
Redo it. Reset it quickly.
What community responsibilities were important to you while you were playing football?
Elaborate on that a little? What do you mean by community responsibility?
What you did in the community itself.
What do you mean by community?
Yeah, within
Go
the
ahead.
community, what did you do within the community itself to assist the community, if anything?
Oh, I did great. I think that every person who they call a celebrity, call a great player, there's a responsibility that he or she must have, being a role model type of thing. I think that when you live in the community or you grew up in the community as a professional player, as whatever, you should dedicate some of your time to go back to those particular community. I grew up, like I said, in Mississippi and in Louisiana, and I felt that it was my responsibility to go back there and put on a football camp at the high school level, put on a football camp in Louisiana, and I've been doing that for the last 7-8 years now, going back to my hometown and putting on 2 football camps. And also in the community here in Oakland, going to different high schools. We have a lot of, not only me, but a lot of great football players today go back to the high schools and elementary school. Just go back and talk to the kids and say some of the things I said earlier to the kids, because I never seen a professional football player in my life until I went to Grambling University when they had Emmett Tennell come back and talk to the team and work with the team. So nowadays, football players all over, they're everywhere now, going back into the schools, going, putting on football camp, doing fundraiser. All those guys have foundation that help schools, give away scholarship to kids to go back to college and those kind of things. So I think it's a responsibility and an obligation, as for me, is to do as much as I possibly can in back in the community, particularly here in Oakland where I live, and Tracy. They have fundraisers all the time that I would show up, not even asked to come, but I show up because I know a function is going on to raise money for certain program at the school level, and I feel it's my obligation and part of my responsibility to go back and do this, because when I was coaching early in my career, I have some of the Oakland Raiders come into different schools and to talk to high school kids, talk to elementary kids, and because I have 3 kids that was in school, and they would go speak to them.
And that's important.
Thank
Go ahead. You're welcome.
Thank you, JFK, and that's like I said, an important pillar to bring up is citizenship, and we could all take that attitude, whether we're a professional athlete or whether we're a plumber in the school, at a school, or whatever career it is in that community that you're doing that's helping that community. If we can all take time to give back to our community, whether it's working at a volunteer fundraiser or helping out with one of your local youth programs, coaching sports, softball, whatever it might be, to give back to the community. Again, this country, you'll see, we'll start, if we all take that mindset, it'll start improving greatly. And one thing I would like to point out to you guys as well, a lot of times you see in the paper and the media a lot of the negative elements, because that's a lot of times what sells, obviously. You see negative elements in the National Football League, so-and-so got in trouble, or you saw this or that. For every one person that you see doing something negative, just remember there's 50 others behind the scenes in the National Football League doing great things in their communities. So the folks at the Raiders know, because it's Scott Fink there, the community relations director, that's what he does for a living, is connect players to the community and the team. So that's important to know. So let's go to Cream, New Jersey.
What did you have to do to become a coach?
The right attitude and the mindset and the goals. Number one, I think that when I was in the 10th, 11th grade in high school, I knew that I wanted to be a coach because I idolize and admire my high school football coach so much that I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be able to go back to high school and help young people. And I think that was important to me, is going back and help them in their life, kind of shape their life and develop their life. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah. Yes.
You guys mute your mic in between your questions there, Cream?
Yeah, because we're counting on the desk.
Thank you.
Okay. But those kind of things were kind of gave me the idea that I want to be a football coach, because of going to Grambling University with Eddie Robinson. I kind of watched him and kind of try to do things the way he did things, and made me even more to even think about it, because I think high school kids today, they need guidance. They need someone to come in and kind of help mold their life, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be that guy to help get a guy jumpstart his career in the right direction, and show him that there are other things in life other than just playing sports. You have other goals. Everybody can't play football or basketball or run track, but there are other things that must be done. So I figured that being a high school coach and being a college coach, that I could do some of those things other than just coach football.
Okay, Cream, if you got a second question?
Yes. All right. When did you start playing football?
I started playing football when I was in 3rd grade, contact sports when I was in 3rd grade, and I played every year since then. And when I was in 3rd grade, I wanted to be the best player on the team. I probably wasn't the best player on the team, but I had the mindset of being the best player on the team, because I wanted to be the guy, contribute and be the guy one of the reasons why we could win and how we should win, and give all the effort that I had in order to be a football player. But then I have 6 brothers, so 3 of them was older than I was, and they was playing football and sports. So I wanted to be like them and wanted, just walk in their shoes and be as great as they were when they was in high school. And so that's why I kind of went in that direction. Okay.
Thank you, Kareem. Let's go from New Jersey to Texas. Riesel, go ahead.
What was your worst experience in the NFL?
Say that again.
Your worst experience in the NFL.
All right, my worst experience in the NFL, probably having an eye open and knowing that how black players were treated compared to white players was treated when I first came into pro football. I had no idea it was like that until I got involved in it. The relationship that did develop among the black players and the white players at the time, but the eye opener, another eye opener was when I was who played tight end and linebacker in high school and in college, and then when I got to the pros, they gave me a defensive backfield book the first night, and I thought that was kind of crazy because I never played defensive back before, so it was kind of eye opening for me to know that this is the position they wanted me to play, and I never played it before, but I had to learn on the run. I mean, learn in a hurry because of in football you get one chance, particularly in pro ball you get one chance, and you make it, you don't make it unless somebody pick you up as a free agent. That's what happened in my case. I was cut and let go, the last cut with the Houston Oilers. Then Denver picked me up, but the eye opener is that how much better that they thought some of the players they had on the team was better than me, and everybody in the world knew that seeing me play that I was much better than some of the guys they had. But during that time they were only taking so many blacks on the football team compared to so many whites on the football team. So I had to. That was one of the biggest eye openers to me, is that how much better you had to be during that period of time in order to play for the National Football League.
Go ahead with another there, Riesel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
One more question. Wanted to know what you ran in a 40 when you were in the NFL.
I ran fast I had to. If you put a clock, I probably would run somewhere in the 4.4, 4 something in that area, because I had a track background. I ran track in high school and also ran track in college, so I could run. But really, if I had to catch a guy who run 4.2, I ran 4.2. If a guy running who ran a 4.4, I ran 4.4. Whatever needs to be done in order to catch a guy, I had that speed. I had that second gear. You know the second gear you have when you run track? All right, I think that was my second gear. You do whatever you had to do in order to get the job done. So sometimes you have to understand that a clock speed when you run track or when you're running 40-yard dash and you run a 4.3, that's football speed. Then another time you run, you may run faster, you may run less, so that's another speed. So you really tend to run whatever you need to run in order to get the job done, and I think that's what came to me. You got track speed and you got football speed. Okay?
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
I think that 75-yard interception, that was definitely, I think he was definitely in second gear there. That was definitely football speed there. And that's
I was in third gear because I was hoping nobody could catch me.
Let's go to Virginia, Spotsylvania, Freedom.
All the questions we submitted have been answered, Mr. Brown. So, I mean, we have ones we didn't submit. Do you want us to ask one of those?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Submit it. We'll get it. Come on with it.
When you were playing football throughout your career, all throughout your career, did you keep the 6 pillars of character in mind the entire time?
Did I keep it in mind? Keep my character in mind?
Did you model it?
Yeah, I really think I did because I learned at an early age with my father. My father was very, very tough and very disciplinarian. I mean, he was the type of person who disciplined you every time something go wrong. And my father was like 6'5", weighing 245 pounds, and I didn't want to cross him, you know. So I tried to do all the things that he wanted me to do. My high school coach, I tried to do all those kind of things, you know, make sure I'm on the right track. And that stayed with me the rest of my life. And I think that's where I taught my kids growing up. It's you know, things that you teach and things that you learn at an early age. You hopefully that those things can develop as you grow older, and then you can carry over back to your kids. You see, so but now they say that you learn things at an early age, and when you get past 3 years old, it's tough to change. But hopefully that all you kids have developed those kind of things at an early age, so it will be a carryover over when you get in college and you go on to be a person that established yourself in society. And I think those things are important. But don't let anyone influence you and get you away from your character, because you know what your character is. You continue that for the rest of your life.
We have one more.
Go ahead.
After all the awards you won in your career, which are you most proud of?
Well,
we're listening to this one, Mr. Brown.
Well, I don't know. You know, there's so many now that being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame surely is one of them. But I've been elected to 9 different Hall of Fames. That's from state and from college, from this, from that Hall of Fame, and all those things are important to me. But receiving, you know, the MVP award of your team, playing in Super Bowls, coaching in Super Bowl, all those things are very important. But probably the one that stands out more than anything, probably being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Freedom Middle School. Let's go to the last group for 2 more questions to end the program. Daw Middle School, Wellsville. Go ahead with your question.
What do you think about the helmet-to-helmet hit penalty rule?
Well, I'm glad they finally realized that there is a problem in football periods, not only just in college, pros, in high schools, everywhere, because you don't want to see a person end his career and you know, by head-to-head contact with anyone. Sometimes you can't avoid it, of course, and you try not to have head-to-head contact with the person. Is how you teach it. I think more coaches got to teach the proper way tackling a person rather than using his helmet, because you have a defensive back or running and a running back, whoever. If they running towards each other, one of them is going to duck their head, and usually when one duck, the other one duck. That's where you have head-to-head contact with the person. But yeah, something should be done, and they are in the process of trying to do something about the head-to-head contact, helmet-to-helmet contact, to avoid a lot of the injury, because there are too many, no question about it. But they are doing something about it. When I played, they said, well, okay, he's knocked out, bring the sideline, give you some smelling salts, and next thing you know, you're back in the game. So they are trying to do all the right things today to prevent those kind of things.
And let me ask Daw, just because we brought it up in the last group, let me ask Daw Middle School, do you think that that could be a character issue with players helmet to helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How so?
Because if you're going to look for the big hit all the time, maybe the same way in life, like trying to cheat. Your way to success.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yep.
Very good.
Go ahead, Doc. You got the last question of the program. Look, we're shaking hands. Good answer. I see that.
Outstanding.
Okay.
What did you think about Jack Tatum's hit that paralyzed the one guy?
You know, Jack and I, we played together, and I was in the ball game at the same time with this when that happened. Let me tell you, Jack Tatum was one of the finest football players that ever played professional ball, even high school ball, whatever. Surely, Jack, the intent was to make the tackle. It was not the intent of hit a person so hard and paralyze him. That's part of football. Is when you get hit, who can say how you gonna get hit and what happened after the hit? So I guess unfortunate that Stingley, who Jack hit, got paralyzed from the way that he did get hit. And football is that way. You hit a guy, and that's the name of the game. You hit a guy and get him down. But it's to hurt a person. There's not a person in football would like the end of another person's career. Now, do we want to hurt him? Do we want to get him out of the game? Yeah, we did that, but not to the point where it would end his career. Because every game I played, every time I hit a guy, I want to take him out and get him out of the game because I don't have to worry about him anymore today if he's out of the game. But I had never and have never seen another person trying to hurt a person and end his career. And that's Jack Shirley was not intended to do something like that to end Stingley's career. But there again, that's part of football. You know, the way he got hit, and those things happen.
Thank you, Wellsville and Dawn. You know, we've got a couple minutes left. I know they've been sitting patiently. They're a group of 4th or 5th grade students in Linden. Elementary number 9, you've been sitting there patiently just watching. Would you guys like to ask a question?
Anybody have a quick question? Nice and loud. Go ahead.
What color do you think describes your career?
What color do you think describes your career?
Ooh, what color?
What color? I think we got a future psychologist in that classroom.
Well, probably brown, because that's my last name, and I like the color brown.
Okay.
Great. Thank you all. Oh,
when you
got
played
one more. Go ahead.
football, what number did you wear?
When I played football, what number did I wear? Number 24.
Okay.
Are you wearing your Super Bowl ring?
No, ma'am. I am at work, and usually when I'm at work, I don't wear them because I do too much with my hands. And the rings are so large. My Hall of Fame ring and my Super Bowl ring is pretty large, and usually get in the way if I'm working here every day. So I try to leave them at home, and I wear them when I go out to a special occasion, to a function, something like that. I go speak to a high school, elementary school. I usually wear them then.
Thank you.
Thank you, elementary number 9. And let's just, for a second here, you know, Mr. Brown, we got a few minutes left. Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to share with these students about character or advice for them in the future, whatever it might be that you want to share with them?
Well, yeah, a couple of things is that one would be your own person. Don't let other people make decisions for you. You judge things what is right for you, what is right for your team, and you develop those kind of things. Don't be make choices. You see, and don't believe everything you hear. When you know something is wrong, be the person stand up and say it's wrong. Don't be afraid to confront people when you know that something's not going right and should be the other way, and just teach them to have respect for another person's opinion, have respect for another person who is your supervisor, your teacher, or whoever. Just have respect for what they're doing, and have respect for your teammates, have respect for your classmates. All those things is important to help develop your character, because somewhere along the way you're going to be in a position to make decisions. So you start young by making those kind of decisions, and when it comes time for putting the law down or laying the law down, you have had that experience before, and you know how to handle certain situations. And that's why you see captain. That's why you have leaders. And some people ask about leaders, is that were our leaders made, or are they born? To me, I think it's both. Is there. The leadership quality will surely come out, and you will see leadership quality in a person when he's 4 or 5 years old. Guess how he handles himself. So you develop those kind of things as you grow, and that would help you develop your character, and that would help you develop other people's character.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Brown. And can all the groups unmute your mics and join me in saying thank you and giving a round of applause for Mr. Brown? Thank
I sure had a lot of fun with you guys today. I really did. Had a lot of fun. That was great. Good question.
And I want to say on behalf of the Hall of Fame, Mr. Brown, and our board and all the folks here, our staff, I want to say thank you for supporting us as always and taking part in this Heart of the Hall of Famer series. Thanks to the Raiders for opening their doors.
Go Raiders.
That's right. For working with us again this year. And most importantly, thank all the teachers and students for being part of this today. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and this concludes our program.